How much you got in your pocket?
I got a couple thousand.
You?
500.
What about your ring?
What?
How much for your ring?
You want my ring?
You said it, Joe. Shoot it all. What's it worth to you?
I paid $2,800 for it.
3,000. Covered. I'm gonna leave you with nothing. Nick, make sure, please. It's all there. I'm gonna...
Well, we're here picking up the axle. Let's see how much money I can bleed in one fucking day. Alright, so for those of you who've been hanging in there, here's the plan. I have my trailer axle, which means that I have to put the trailer axle in the trailer, and then hypothetically we should be able to go to pick the truck out. So let's go down the breakdown. Alright, so trailer axle complete. That was $1,100. What else do I need? I need 2 tires because I already have the rims. Now that should pretty much, well, no. We need to expand. There's doves on it that come off the side because the truck's a little wider than a normal vehicle. So we got to go get some steel and weld that up. I already have the gussets ready to go. So steel, that's $1 a pound, probably about 100 pounds of steel, give or take. The truck itself really doesn't need much. It needs the rear drive shaft lengthened, and it needs to just go pick up the front drive shaft. So where does that leave us? And I should probably put new, 2 new rears, or 4 new rears technically, on the dually. So with all that tallied up, it takes a little bit of money. But the ultimate goal is so fucking close I can taste it. And Lord knows, this year I've worked so fucking hard to get it as far as it is. So what we're gonna do, tally it all up, figure it out. It's here. Now what you're gonna ask, what does it weigh? All of it. So the idea is to back the trailer in here. We're gonna swing this in, bolt it up. It's gonna be real fucking nice. So let's get to that now. Alright, here she is. It's got an axle in her. Fits just fucking nice. It's a pain in the dick to get in, I'll tell you. Hold on. Perfect. It bolts up real fucking nice. So, 2 tires. Then I'm gonna run flat plate 4-inch all the way down. So the tires off this guy will fit in there real nice. Flat plate all the way up on here. I'll give you an example of what I'm planning. So these things are just regular old supports. Alright? If you look at them, they run straight up. So the plan is that I'm going to get 4-inch flat stock, thin shit, just enough to keep the wheels off. I don't like that. Just a little extra support from the fender well all the way out. We got to clean her up and paint her. But besides that, she's getting there. We got to get new tires. These tires are frankly just fucking smoked. I'm trying to find the bad spots in them, but the tread basically just blew apart. There is like nothing left to these, so I can't even fucking use them, which sucks. So I'd like to put the extra tires on the trailer right now, so that one axle isn't taking the whole brunt, but take the bad with the good. Anyway, we'll tune you in. I got a bunch more shit coming up. This is gonna get painted, decked, all four corners. I might just throw down some fucking press board or something just to clean this up. And the truck will be going out, so don't you fucking worry. And now, with any luck, with your new injection pump set, you'll be able to crank down the road, a little bit more power, but less fuel efficiency. All right, so a short little introduction on turning the fuel up in one of these 7.3 IDIs. I don't recommend turning it up a lot at all. Like, a flat is more than enough. One of the problems is you don't want to wash the cylinders out. The more fuel you get, the less lubrication the cylinders are going to get. You're going to wash the fucking cylinders out. Not very good. The other thing is the engine's not made to take a lot of fucking fuel. If you're jamming a lot of air into it, yeah, it needs more fuel. If you're giving it a little bit more exhaust, sure, you can add up the fuel, but you have to match it in a one-to-one comparison. So if you're adding more fuel, you have to also be giving it a little more air and a little more exhaust. This truck I'm not too worried about. We've done both besides the air factor because it's not going to turbo. I'm not spending $1,500, $1,600 on a Hypermax kit for a truck that's $1,500 or $1,600. So you want to take this here cover plate off, okay? Now the cover plate just has two access screws, which are 1/2 inch SAE, because it's an old truck. And beneath it, because I'm not pulling mine off just to show you, there is the cam itself. Now the cam has 3 12 points to hold it in, and it also has a dowel pin. Now what you're going to want to do, go to your relay, pull the ignition off, and you're going to want to jump these two terminals just until it rotates, and you want the dowel pin to point virtually at 12 o'clock. This is a bad diagram, but basically you want your dowel pin to point straight up to 12. Now once this is in this orientation, you can get ready to remove the fuel metering plate, or whatever they call this. It's an access plate essentially. Now this plate is located way down at the side, passenger side of the truck, the injection pump right there. Now keep in mind, once you loosen those screws, it will leak diesel. This is an injection pump. It constantly has fluid in it, so keep that in mind. Now to get that rascal off, which this is the plate we just had, it is 2 1/8 inch screws. Be very careful. Once you loosen the bottom and the top, it's going to dump out all the fuel out of the bottom. Now keep in mind, this plate also has a diaphragm behind it, or a little gasket behind it. You want to keep that, because the one thing you don't want is this leaking. All right, so plate comes off. Beneath the plate, on the injection pump side, there is a small access hole. Providing that you have lined your cam dowel at 12 o'clock position, this should be present. Now, it's going to be very hard to see. You're kind of have to work on blind faith. There is a small Allen screw inside of this. Now, the Allen screw will adjust your fuel. The Allen screw itself is 5/30 seconds, all right? And a standard Allen will get to it. You can use a bendy type. You can use these guys. You can use these. It doesn't have to be special at all. Now, turning it up itself. So, we're pretending that this is where the pump is on the motor. So if we look at it like this, all right, that's the rear of the truck. We're on the passenger side turning this guy up. So this screw being 5/30 seconds, again, to increase fuel, we're turning it clockwise. So once you get the Allen set into it, you're turning it towards the grill, okay? Now, there's a lot of stuff on the internet. Keep that in mind. And I'm telling you just what I've done, so my experience, I've never turned it up more than 1 flat. And there's a couple of reasons for that. But I'll show you how to, I guess, estimate how much you're turning it up. And another good thing to remind yourself is when you do turn it up, leave something inside the truck so you can remember that you've turned up the pump already. So you have 2, 4, 6 flats. So you can go 360 degrees. If we break this down and divide it, each flat is 60 degrees. So what I do is I'll put my Allen in, okay? And I will rotate it by eye, or I put a mark on the injection pump itself and rotate this guy basically flat out. So you start here with your flat pointing straight up, and then you can rotate it. There's a couple of different methods, but I'm sure you guys are smart enough. You're not gonna fucking crank the shit out of it. These Allen screws are pretty fucking tight in there. So it's not like it's gonna be loose and you're gonna, slip and it's gonna rotate backwards and you're gonna defuel it or fuel it too much. But I will say a word to the wise, now that you've gotten this, is the one thing you have to keep in mind is the more fuel you pump into this motor, it has the chance of washing the cylinders out. Now, a lot of people will tisk me for this, but I put a lot of two-stroke oil or waste fuel in there. All sorts of, not really additives, but just basically oils. The cetane level around here is about 40%, and that's generous. The only thing you will need to do is to make sure that the injection pump is getting more lubrication and the upper end, especially the cylinders, are getting more lubrication. That's pretty much why I added. Keep in mind though, because that's a heavier oil and the heater only works on startup, you will have to replace filters a little more often. But this is, you want a little bit more power, then you gotta add a little bit to it. Just go, what are you doing? Oh,